My name is Jack Holt, and I am chairman of Holt Construction. Holt Construction is one of the country's leading builders, and we're especially recognized for our work in the aviation sector, with a large portfolio in the Northeast as well as across the country. I'm very proud of our team and how we integrate small businesses into our projects. We have been working at Newark and Liberty International Airport for over 30 years, and our offices at the airport are always open to you. Holt is very committed to diversity and including small and local businesses, especially MWBEs, local businesses, and veteran-owned businesses in our projects. Our work also supports local residents to help them build a career in construction. As many of you already know, this year we have launched the new program, Building Newark Airport Together. That features special sessions every Friday from noon to 1 p.m. These sessions provide you with an important information about contract and career opportunities and will open the gate to building your business and your career with us. Are you interested in a career in the building trades? Hear from several professionals, 2 from Holt Construction and 2 from the industry, who have built their career from the building trades up. This session will also provide tips for getting into the union, as well as feature a review of the 22 local unions that make up the New Jersey Building and Construction Trades Council. Now it's my pleasure to welcome your program host, Alexandria Parati, Holt's Director of Corporate Initiatives and Strategic Planning. Welcome, Alex.
Thank you, Jack. I'm Alexandria Parati, and I'm so pleased to serve as your program host for our Opportunity Friday series. Opportunity Fridays are important sessions that will introduce you to what you need to know about working with Holt Construction, as well as the specific contract packages that are available for bidding on Newark's new Terminal A. We also want local residents to learn more about how they can work in the construction industries with Holt, as well as on our projects. As an organization, Holt Construction is truly committed to building Newark Airport together. Each of our Opportunity Friday sessions are devoted to specific topics and include an opportunity for live questions and answers. At the end of each information session, we will review direct contract opportunities that you may be interested in bidding once you have pre-qualified with us. So let's get started with today's session, Careers in the Building Trades, Success Stories and Tips for how to get into an apprenticeship program. Now let's get started with today's session. Are you interested in a career in the building trades? Hear from several professionals, 2 from Holt Construction and others from the industry who have built their career from the building trades up. This session will also provide tips for getting into the union, as well as feature a review of the 22 local unions that make up the New Jersey Building and Construction Trades Council. And with that, let me introduce my panel. We'll start with you, Jason. Could you start and introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Jason Spector, Director of Field Operations with Holt Construction, Carpenters Local 2253.
Philip, could you go?
Phil Mancini, Business Agent, Sprinkler Fitters Local 696, and Vice President of Essex County Building and Construction Trades.
Melissa?
Hi, my name is Melissa. I am a 4th-year apprentice with Local 696.
Jeff?
Hi, I'm Jeffrey Correa. I'm Superintendent of Construction with Holt Construction and member of Local 3 Laborers Union.
Calvin?
Hi, I'm Calvin Brooks. I'm a sheet metal worker, business agent, union rep for Local 25.
And Jennifer?
Jennifer Garcia, Plumbers Local 24. I'm a 3rd-year apprentice.
Now, what I thought would be really interesting today is to go through each of you, because you're all at different stages in your careers, and just talk about how you started in construction, what drove you to construction, and how you moving up through the ranks and how you want to move up through the ranks. So, Philip, since you're the biggest title here today, could you go through how you started in the union?
Well, I started before I got into the union. I was a non-union HVAC construction worker. Prior to starting with the HVAC company, I was in a technical school, came out of there, got placed with the company, was in the company for 7 years. Two gentlemen who I worked with left that company and went on to work with Local 475 and Local 274. They told me about the benefits and everything about the union, which really intrigued me. So that drove me into applying for Local 696. That's how it all started.
And then from that, how did you get into being, the business agent? How did you get into doing all of that?
Well, after completing 5 years of my apprenticeship, how I got intrigued of being an officer for the local is the very first union that I ever went to. First year, first month I'm in, I went there and I was completely fascinated by the whole procedure of having a union meeting, having a president, having a guy up there, the president's up there with a gavel. There's a recording secretary, there's reports, there's stuff that my head was spinning that I had no idea what was going on. So at the end of the meeting, I asked the business manager, who's the head of the local, if I could talk to him. I went to his office and I asked him, I was like, how do I get to where you're at? And he was like, get through your 5 years of your apprenticeship. He goes, and then we'll talk. Ever since then, as soon as I came out of my time, I wanted to be involved with local level politics and with our union politics. So that's what drove me into wanting a career as a union officer.
Great. Jason, so you also have an interesting story, and you and I have been with Holt, you longer than me. You and I started out as project manager and super together here at Newark. So your story, how did you start out in the union, start from college?
So you finish school, you're going to school, needed a job. A friend of mine, his father owned a union GC company. They were looking for summer help. I worked for him over the summer. I enjoyed the work. I was the kid. I wasn't making any money. I was doing random tasks around the warehouse. I took a liking to it. I went on a couple projects, delivering materials, doing certain things. I was hearing guys for the first time in my life, oh, scab, kid, you got to get in a union. It's good. It's better than what you're doing. So I reached out. I spoke to the owner of the company. He said, hey, look, I could put you into an apprenticeship program, company sponsor you, or you could take the test. And I went through my 4 years of apprenticeship, got out, enjoyed it, continued working with them, turned into a foreman with them, a general foreman with them. Then I wanted to continue my career. I was still, I would say probably in my early to mid 30s, but it was time to try to find a different way in the industry that I like. So I took advanced college level classes for construction management, took a liking to it, found Holt Construction found me. The other president of the company was in between, are you a college kid? Are you a tradesman? What's the right way to go? They gave me the opportunity, came in here as a superintendent. While you were there, Alex, became a senior superintendent, general superintendent, and then the director. And the benefits of the union is provided excellently for myself, my family. I've developed good relationships with business agents such as Phil, the laborers local, the carpenters local, and at all levels of the industry, we're all union members together. And we will speak from the contractor side to the union side to the district council side, and we'll try to find out and find a way to make best for the project.
So Jason, if you started out in the apprenticeship program, you became an apprentice, you became a union superintendent, you became the general superintendent, and now the director of field ops. So it seems like no matter where you start, there's growth opportunities. Same thing with Phil. He's got great growth opportunities through a union. You don't just start out and you don't have to be, just an apprentice or just a foreman. There's always room to grow in the union. So let's move to Calvin, because Calvin, you're a business agent. So how did you get your start in the union? And let us know how, what your story is.
Well, I got in this trade because of my uncle, but he was trying to get me to do this 5 years before I did decide to go down and take the test. And And I went, because working under a relative that been doing something for so long, you have to have a certain reputation to uphold. And prior to me getting in, my aunt was a member, and my other uncle was a member. So, but they had to follow my older uncle, and which was big shoes to follow. So then that's why I didn't want to get in, because I used to hear stories from them, and but I said, you know what? Let me just take the chance and go take the test, and I got in.
That's great. So let's with that being said, let's start with the two apprentices that we have today. So Melissa, could you share your story? Because I am always intrigued of all of the female workforce out there in the union. Whenever I see you out there, I just want to hug you because I love seeing women out there in the building trades.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I was introduced to the opportunity from my brother, who's also in the local. Back in 2016, I stood outside of the union hall for 12 hours waiting for an application to certify my spot. I filled out the application. They gave me a call back. I had 2 interviews. I had to take a test. A few months later, I received a call with a hiring date. I promised myself that if I didn't love it, I wasn't going to waste anybody's time. And I absolutely love it. I have not had a day in the morning where I wake up like, oh, I have to go to work. My foremen have been great. My business agents, my business manager, everyone is helpful. They're only a phone call away. So it's my 4th year, and I recently received an award from the North America's Building Trades for a Tradeswoman Hero Award. So that was
That's
super
amazing.
cool. Yeah, that was awesome. And I have 6 months left to complete my apprenticeship, and I'm looking forward to it.
That's great. I love to hear those kinds of stories. I know that when I started out in construction in the 90s, there weren't many of us out there. There weren't many of us in the field, let alone project managers. And you do have to have a certain type of armor that you wear as a female to stand up next to all of the men. Jason was my super growing up at Holt. So, we've had our own battles, and, we learned how to work out and work with each other through growing up in the industry. And it's just a great thing to have a lot of diversity out there in the field. Jennifer, you're an apprentice too. So how did you get into the program?
So I went to college. I got my bachelor's in psychology. I really liked social work at the time, but I was young when I went to college. I was young, and I didn't really, I guess nobody really, I don't know. I like the money thing. I didn't really think about that. And then once I graduated, and I'm a single mom, 3 kids, and that bachelor's degree was not getting me a job, making the amount of money that I needed to get by. So I came upon a flyer about women in construction. And I'm not gonna lie, I mean, the first thing that called my attention was like, I remember it was like in big numbers, and it was like, you can make 100,000 a year. And I was like, well, I could get by with that, So, the next morning I went by, it was a pre-apprenticeship program in the Elizabeth Development Company. So I